How do you explain death to a child who is too young to read about it themselves? Today, we're looking at Something Very Sad Happened. And this is a great, very early childhood grief book because it understands something a lot of adults miss. Toddlers grieve too, but they do it with much fewer words. What I really appreciate about this book is it was designed for the very young or pre-reading child, especially in the roughly 2 to 4 year old window. Because of this, it's meant to be read to them and not handed to them to figure out alone. A lot of grief books for children are really written for older kids, and to avoid that, this book stays concrete, simple, and developmentally appropriate. And that is a huge strength when you're talking about a toddler with something as permanent and confusing as death. Another feature I really like is how easy it is to personalize. The story may begin with one relationship, like grandma, but the book is designed so you can easily swap in whatever language fits the child's actual loss. And that is not a small detail because children this young, they really need the words to match their world. If the book says grandma, but their person who died was dad, that disconnect will show in their ability to connect to the book. This book makes it easy to keep the story emotionally true to the child while you're helping them. They also did a great job with the parent resource section in the back. Honestly, it's not just filler. It is actually useful with guidance on how to talk about death, answer difficult questions, and really support the child through the grieving process. Honestly, this section is worth the price alone, even if you only use it to talk to older kids about death. This is an important resource because most parents are already grieving, and it can be very difficult to come up with clear, calm, steady language on the spot. So I always appreciate when a children's book also helps the adult use the book well. The artwork is also beautiful and inviting. The illustrations are soft, gentle, and really emotionally appropriate for the story. It helps carry the emotional weight without overwhelming the child. One of my favorite things about this book is it shows the child noticing the adult grieving as well, and the child even tries to comfort them by giving the adult their toy. It's very sweet. It all comes together to help a very young child understand what has happened and feel less alone as they go through it. That is exactly what I want from a toddler grief book. My brief clinical note would be this: very young children do better with simple truths rather than confusing analogies meant to sound comforting, but ultimately end up creating confusion. Books like this can help adults say, yes, somebody died, and it's okay to feel sad, but even though they're gone, their love is still here. And this is a very grounded place to begin healing and acceptance. So yes, I absolutely recommend Something Very Sad Happened for the right age and the right context, especially if you're helping a toddler or very young preschooler after the death of someone they love. If your child is a little older and needs a broader, more general explanation of death itself, I have a different book I highly recommend. But first, if this review was helpful, please like and subscribe so I know to keep making more evidence-based content for parents and adults working with children. If you're interested in purchasing this book, I have an affiliate link in the description below, and that link really helps me out. Finally, if you've used this book or other resources with a child in your life to talk about death, I'd love to hear how it went and what came up. Now, my favorite book to explain what death is to children ages 4 to maybe 8 is called Lifetimes, which fills a slightly different role, but it does it exceptionally well. You can see my review of that book here. Until next time, let's all practice more understanding and less shame.